So Terada makes a post of his own quality of life proposals, because CIG seems interested in improving the quality of life in the game. So he says, my community and I have gathered many interesting ideas that can improve the quality of life. Okay. This is the work of hundreds of active players, mainly within the French community. Key binding. So search bars. Yeah. Okay. A streamer mode that hides the player's nickname wherever it appears, Mobiglass chat, etc., and the global channel. Okay. Settings. The option to display FPS only. Social. In-game reporting feature for player behavior. Sure. Inventory and item management. I mean, yeah. Stack all, stackable. Ability to buy mining bags. Sure. Ability to sell and refine them. Yes. This isn't like little quality of life things. This is pretty heavy stuff, some of this that I've read so far. In-game comfort and readability. Adjust the brightness in daylight in the cockpit. Tinted glass type. Night vision. Yep. Green chevron instead of blue for party members. Having a city's marker on the spaceport instead of the center of it. I mean, all pretty good stuff. A status for feedback threads to see if they've been read by the teams at CIG, escalated, need more information, already implemented, etc. All right, and then here's the juice. Here is the juice. So CR responds to this. Because in general, it's not a very angry thread. Right? So what he says is, hi, Terada. I just wanted to thank you for your suggestions for quality of life on Star Citizen. Also, your incredibly awesome flying and video capture skills whenever I want to show someone the huge range of things you could do in Star Citizen. Your low flying or 100 player get together videos on YouTube are part of the links I share. Dude, Chris Roberts loves this guy. Literally prioritized third-person camera stuff when 900 other things were more important because Terada, okay? When I started the journey on Star Citizen over 10 years ago, I never imagined such dynamic and beautiful footage showing off both what the technology of Star Citizen can do and, more importantly, what the players can do in the huge sandbox we're building. Where's the sand? Back to your post. Seeing tight, concise, constructive feedback like this is super helpful. I also want to know that I pay attention to the community's feedback as well as the feedback by various Star Citizen content creators. He doesn't listen to me. There's no chance. This year has been an especially difficult one in terms of stability and quality of life due to the rollout of persistent entity streaming, PES, in 3.18. The whole way we track and record the state of the universe changed dramatically, which also changed the way we handle data in the backend in the cloud. Because of how we record the state of PES, we needed to switch to a different kind of backend database. So we moved from SQL. Oh my God, are we really doing this? Is he really like typing an essay about things that we already know? Unfortunately, the graph database we selected, despite being one of the best rated ones and intended for enterprise scale, has had major issues at load. Did you ever think you were overloading it with like way too many items? Did we ever think that that might be a thing? Because we choose to have 4,000 different items for the same gun? Maybe. Did we ever think that that might be a thing? Causing the database to lock up and all the queries from the game servers to stall out. This happened on 3.18 launch, where it took us a lot of effort to stabilize, including some engineering on our side, to lessen the load on the database. We thought we had this issue solved, but the most recent version of the database software was a step backwards. And we've had additional lockups at load, which is what happened for periods on Wednesday, just after we launched 3.20, and on Thursday, Friday, and very briefly on Saturday. We rolled back to an older version and disabled some of the features last night that we suspect may be contributing to the instability. Ironically, we think that the replication to mirror databases for full redundancy is a culprit to the database lockups. Okay, this looks to have stabilized things. The backend database is getting into bad state manifests in multiple ways to identify or to infinitely spinning inventory windows, missing items, and degraded game performance. We went with an off-the-shelf enterprise-level database for stability and resilience, as there's already a lot of new tech in Star Citizen. So it's frustrating, as the software that should be rock solid is the biggest offender in making the Star Citizen experience even more unreliable. We have top engineers from the database company working on this, and we're also assessing other databases to switch to if the unreliability of the current solution continues. Oh my God. It's everybody's fault but ours now, so that's good. Now we're blaming others, so this is a good one. One way or another, we intend to have this solved in the very near term, and the game coming back to 3.17.x stability levels. We're also very focused on improving quality of life, both annoying bugs that have been around for way too long, and some things that we need to address to make the experience fun and welcoming. Your list is great. In this respect, a lot of your suggestions are on our list too. We did get some quality of life fixes in 320, like the QT HUD being lined up properly. All right, there's a lot of more important things, but not nearly as much as the team or I would like. We'll be working on knocking out bugs and improving quality of life pretty continuously from here on out, which is something they've said they're going to do for 10 years. Like, none of this is new. None of this means anything. It's all talk and no action, right? Classic Chris, classic CIG. Let me make this big post. I haven't spoken in a while. I'll be speaking at CitizenCon. Let me make this big post. Put the blame on someone else for our problems, and hopefully our community will believe me. It might be the case, but it doesn't matter, right? Because I thought we can test things at scale. If you can't test things at scale to find out that these are a problem before it gets to us, you're the problem, not us, not you, or not them, you, right? You are the problem. You need to be able to test the things at scale before you get it to us. And you've told us now twice that you're able to do that, and you've shown that you're unable to do that still. So that's really one of the things that we should be figuring out as well. So that seems to be one thing that I'm getting frustrated hearing, and then seeing no results of that. The plan has always been to bring this work to Star. Oh, okay, hold on. There's a lot of great features and tech we're bringing to Star Citizen from Squadron 42 that will dramatically change the feel and polish of Star Citizen. For instance, a lot of your suggestions in-game comfort and readability have already been addressed by the changes we made for Squadron 42. The plan has always been to bring this work to Star Citizen. Squadron 42 was just a good way for us to focus and really polish the feel and usability without the pressure of maintaining functionality as we iterated on it for the always live environment of the PU. Yes, which I think every single backer for the most part understands that. But this was kind of something that you said at CitizenCon last year, and we expect to see at the end of the year this year, because that's what you communicated. And up to this point, we have not been communicated that that won't happen. So I would hope that those things, like, that's the deadline for me. You don't do that by the end of the year. Again, nothing you say matters. It's what you do. So do those things, and I care. Say these things, I no longer care, right? We've now hit an inflection point in Squadron 42's development that allows us to start bringing this work to Star Citizen in the near future. Okay. I'm very excited for CitizenCon, as we'll be sharing a lot of these features and more. It will be great in front of a live crowd and spending time with the community in person. But it's been 4 years since the last in-person CitizenCon. It's been 4 years, yeah. This is all, listen, I love Chris. Chris is a very special person, right? But it's just this until you do something. None of it, you could say all the things you plan on doing. You could say all the things you're doing, and none of it matters until you do it. You got to do it. You got to do those things. You've said so many things, and you've done none of those things. Or you've done them in nowhere near the timeline that you make it seem like you're going to do them. So none of it matters, right? Torada says, hi, Chris. This feedback takes a very unexpected turn. First of all, thanks for your detailed reply. It's been a long year, and we've missed this kind of message. I'm sorry to hear the database problems are so complicated to implement, but given the ambition of the objectives, it seems coherent. I think a good part of the community is understanding as long as we take the time to explain it to them. Star Citizen Squadron 42 are unlike any other games in the industry. Okay. But in recent years, with Squadron 42 moving forward, sometimes it feels like Star Citizen is taking a back seat. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure they've told us that it's taking a back seat. It's literally what they told us. Yeah, and then he's just, soying, I guess, or very, very happy to hear. So, air. Just filled with air. That's all I see. Just a lot of air. And hopefully that air turns to something solid and concrete at some point. But it's just a lot of air. It's iCache all over again? No, it's not iCache because they're talking. They're communicating. If what he says is true, which I believe it is, sure. Okay, cool. So do something. The only criticism that I have is they've now explained to us twice that they're able to test at scale. And then when we actually get in and are actually the ones testing at scale, everything breaks. So that's the solutions that they need to come up with, because they need to find these issues before it gets to us. So you can't keep talking about quality of life. You can't keep talking about the live server mattering and not delivering an experience that is functional, right? So, yeah. The testing isn't working before it gets to us, and then we're the ones breaking it the second it goes live. So, not good.